Hey people, quick updates. My beard is flowing, looking good. Today is day 2 of the vegetarian diet for a week. Just something that I want to try differently. And the cool part is, maybe not, I don't know. But this one small tweak in my life may have resulted in possibly one of the best Wednesdays I've had in a very long time. Let's go talk about it. I'm up huge and I'm feeling good. Let's dive into some details. All right, traders, I made you that video to make you this video. Let's go through some charts and do some reviews. I did get a few requests for today's stock market review, so stay tuned for that. And also some updates on some day trades that we took and also just some other trades in general. But first and foremost, with Apple, you had a really what I think was a great event yesterday. Really solid event, some wonderful releases with Apple TV Plus and the new iPhone 11 with some great features and camera upgrades. A lot of people seem to like it. I loved it. And I was realistically expecting some sell-off to actually happen on Apple, but that was not the case even remotely. In fact, Apple yesterday closed above this high wave candle. We closed above it, showing some strength, and then we gapped up today in what was a phenomenal gap. And Brad in the morning room and a lot of other traders were playing that gap up. In fact, if I just pop in here to a 1 minute chart, I mean, it was a fast move, but boy, it really was quite delicious. I'll kind of zoom out here, but Apple just went on a rampage this morning, threw in some very small candles at open, and then just started crushing. So let me hop over here, pull up Apple on the daily time frame and look at this 1 minute chart. So the 1 minute chart, again, it just depends on the strength of the gap and the quality of the gap and the information, the incitement that you can get. But look at this super small 1 minute candle. I mean, very nice, tiny little range, a little bit of an upper shadow. Beautiful breakout. And it doesn't matter if you're using a 3 minute or 5 minute chart. It was just a great gap. Obviously, had some retests, right? Some people sold off. We traded sideways. We traded sideways for the better part of an hour, and then boom, we just broke out and just kept on running. So it was during that breakout that we discussed a 240 covered call on Apple for October, which if you have some shares, probably not a terrible thing to do to get called away at 240, which would be an all-time high, never been that high. And just some big news coming out on Apple. Plus, that would be before earnings. And realistically, my overall thought process on Apple is if we do this, we'd like to do something like that, right? That would make sense, that kind of retest capability. So anyway, buy the dip on Apple. Don't want to spend too much time on it. But this was the big win of the day, MAXR. This is the one that most traders got somewhere around 2 Rs or greater for anyone who played it. I did not see this until early morning. And I'll kind of give you the play-by-play on MAXR because it was a great trade for some traders to really practice some of their just emotional fortitude. First of all, just recognizing the trade setup, that was a big play. I mean, you look at the long-term moving averages. This was a big portion of how this trade worked out so well. It's just look at the compression, right? The 100 and the 200 just coming down, just kind of squeezing the price action. Right, you can see it coming down, you can see this coming up. And look how long we've traded sideways. And look at these pressure pops. Boom, 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 bang, bang, jam, session, in, play. Just a lot of bullish volume spikes since May, over and over again. So I'm like, at some point, this thing's gonna pop. And I did do a swing trade on this in August, and it just did not work. So I've been following MAXR Technologies. The swing trade that we got into, we got in bullish on this day on a pullback and got stopped out on that day. So, that was pretty much just how August went. But anyway, yesterday you had this bullish gap and go, huge volume, good, breakout, break above the long-term moving averages, break above the daily moving averages. I mean, everything looked good. It was just a really good gap and go. And you had this nice little upper shadow. So today was really, realistically, just a continuation play. It was a retest gap, meaning one would expect it to pull back some, which it did, and then look to go bullish. So you could play this on the 3 or 5 minute chart. Here's how I played it, and it was a little mean, but that's okay. Entry was the blue line, stop was the red line. which means you're absolutely correct. The very first time we took this trade early this morning, we got stopped out. We got wicked out, actually. We did not close below the low of the day. It threw in a lower shadow. It pretty much hit us to the penny. And I just had to do it again. Had to take that trade. There were too many phenomenally perfect signals not to do it. So here was kind of the play-by-play. And again, this was a fantastic win. This was early morning right here. Didn't lose a full R because this was the setup. And the one I just showed you, right, bullish at 875, stop at 853. And I did exit a little bit at 886. So that helped me not lose a full R on the trade, was getting out of 10% at 886. But within like 2 minutes after that, we got stopped out. So Brad says, there it is, stopped out. And I said, same, right? Just right around that time. And then I will try it one more time. So here's the setup, the new setup, 867 with the stop loss right below the low of that new day, 849. And again, it was because of the wick, right? Through a little bit of a lower shadow. That was the retest. It was the S curve, and I could have easily lost on that trade. Got lucky that we didn't, but that was just an absolute monster trade. There's my boy Greg, right? So Greg's updating this trade. He says he's in 870 by 850. Matt DeLong, 875 by 850. And there's Greg just a few minutes later, 2 R's profit. Dave, 2.5 R's profit. Greg got 1.38 R's on that one. My boy Tom got 3 R's on the day. Amazon, 2 R's and 1 R on Tesla. Tesla was just absolutely insanely perfect. But this was kind of the approach on MAXR. 867 by 849. And I did do some add and reduces on that position that I did not post in Slack. I don't post every single trade that I make. But 926 was the target, so I started increasing it because it just looked really strong. There's Matt getting himself 2 R's on his trade setup, and this is the 4R trade for me. As you guys know, it normally do a $500 risk unit, and that is a lot of green right there. $500 risk unit, 4 R's, did some add and reduce, but it was just a great trade, and that's net. That's after the actual when it came down to 853. So anyway, really good trade, gorgeous move, exceptional gap. That was the big winner for a lot of real life traders, and we're looking really good. The month of September, right? August kind of sucked, but September we're smashing it. 5 R's on the swing trades and 6 R's on the day trades on these official setups. I mean, that's doing pretty well is what we're getting at. So that is MAXR. Make sure to review that one for your day trades because it was a good follow through of a gap, and it was a nice gap. I mean, if you look at it, all things considered, you had this bullish gap and go yesterday, but there was really no resistance. I mean, it was just stopped perfectly at that resistance yesterday. So that was very nice, and overall just a gorgeous move. So let's go look at some stocks that were requested. Here's Alibaba, BABA, and I really like BABA. BABA pressure is building. So this red line is just kind of showing a little bit of a resistance, and you have what looks to be a very nice hammer-ish candle on BABA, and a little bit of a gap up today. So if you're looking at playing BABA, bullish I think is the way to go. Huge company. If we start making higher highs tomorrow, I mean realistically, start any type of higher high, I'll be bullish on BABA, especially if it gaps up. And right, you still have your higher lows. So we're kind of forming a nice big triangle on BABA. It's an ascending triangle, and eventually it'll break out to the upside. So if you are in some shares, you want to buy low, sell high, do some covered calls on this one. Looks pretty nice. Had a request for GLD, gold. I want to know where the gold's at. And gold on the daily chart, if we pull it up really quick, is up 0.62% today. But really, it's just kind of pulling back. I mean, it made a dramatically strong bullish move, went all the way up to like 146, breaking out of this massive 4-year, 5-year resistance at 130. And once it did that, I mean, huge, nice little run. So what we're getting is just a natural, normal curve, natural, easy pullback, 1, 2, 3 wave. So we're about to get into a 4 where we trade sideways, we chop around for a while, we hang out, volume likely declines, and then we eventually most likely pop higher. But gold and silver, both of those, obviously bullish on them long term. It's just going to take some time for them to really play out. So gold, that's my thoughts on gold. ISRG, Intuitive Surgical. Pretty expensive stock, but gorgeous breakout today. Incredible close above some resistance. We are trading a little sideways, right? So if you just kind of zoom out, you can see that this particular stock has been this exact price, back in July. So we're trading a little sideways, which means that you want to buy the dip on this one. Probably a pullback into about 510 if you're looking at going long on Intuitive Surgical. Makes sense to me. Volume is coming in, good gap, good candle, good close. So buy a pullback if you're looking at playing that one, and should be pretty good to go from there. Here's Boeing, ticker symbol BA. My girl December Quinlan is in Boeing shares, and she has a 420 covered call, and that's looking good for her. Cheryl made 5 R's on a Boeing swing trade because Boeing has just been really nicely bouncing, all starting from this tweezer bottom-esque one white soldier candle pattern right down here. One white soldier on August the 15th. Very nice start. And then you got another continuation with a new white soldier on August 21st. So realistically, we're going to come up to fill this gap at some point on Boeing right here. The top of the gap is about 410. So we're going to keep an eye on Boeing. Obviously, a lot of people in Boeing long term as it bounces off the 100 simple on a weekly chart. This is a beautiful, beautiful close. If it can stay up here on Friday, right, to close on the weekly chart. So we'll probably see it retest, most likely see it fill this gap, and then pull back, and then, I don't know, probably continue higher. I mean, the trend is bullish on Boeing, so I'm not looking at shorting it at this precise moment in time. Amazon, AMZN, a lot of people requesting Amazon. Some pressure is building on Amazon. What I like about it right now is it is trading nice and sideways. For my credit spread fans, bull put spreads down here, bear call spreads up here, and just know that it will eventually break out. The bulls and the bullish trades make the most sense, at least right now. So here's the hourly time frame on Amazon. In the hourly time frame, tomorrow I'll be watching very closely for Amazon to break above this little double bottom pattern right there. So double bottom, got a little bit of a neckline retest. We're hanging out. So if we can gap above or break above 1827 tomorrow on Amazon, I will be a little bit more bullish for both day trades and kind of a swing trade perspective. Otherwise, Amazon's a little sideways right now, just on a swing trade time frame. Long term, obviously, is bullish, and I would not specifically be bearish at all on Amazon, at least not right now. I don't see anything that looks really, really bearish. Here is Zscaler. Zscaler down hugely. Massive, massive gap down. The stock was at 90 just a few days ago. I say a few days ago. 89.54 is the all-time high, July 26th. So it's now at 49. So this is a huge 50% pullback in price. New IPO company. One that actually is pretty interesting fundamentally. If you want to kind of scour some of the notes and the numbers on Zscaler. But this one is pulling back to a level where a lot of people are really paying close attention to it to buy some dips, right? It was at 90-ish. Now it's at low 50, high 49s. That's a big pullback. Look at some charts, do some fundamental analysis, see if you like this company. But my thought process is it's not going to just V-bottom. I will watch, however, tomorrow for us to break higher and fill this gap a little bit. That could be a very easy day trade or swing trade on Zscaler. So watch how we close here. But a little bit of a high wave candle, upper shadow, a lot of volume. We could really run nicely and fill the gap some if we break higher. And if we close below this candle, oh man. Especially if we do it tomorrow. I don't expect that to happen. But if we close below and start taking out this candle at any point in the next few weeks, Zscaler is unquestionably going lower because there's a lot of people buying this dip on Zscaler. Crowd, CRWD, inside candles today, inside candle yesterday, hanging out. This thing can go lower. I do feel like it's a little overvalued personally, and just watch it. I mean, this is the perfect pennant pattern. It can break up tomorrow, it can break down tomorrow. I have no idea what direction it's going to do. Down makes the most sense, but if we get a good gap, get a good bullish pop, sure. CrowdStrike could be a nice little move. And this stock was at 67, went up to 97, all the way back down to 67 today. this is a volatile little monster. So if you're playing it adequately, you know a little bit about the company, and you're having fun with this one, if you're an aggressive, active, very confident real-life trader, you can be making some good money on CRWD. I like that pennant pattern. Let's see what she does. AOIX, big pullbacks in the cloud sector, which needed to happen. They were just going too far, too fast. And this candle says to me that we have a little bit more downside left. We could retest a little bit and very likely will, but I can almost 100% guarantee that we will be making new lows on AYX, at least lower than it is right now for this week. Based on this volume in this candle, the low is 113.31. We're going to have a little bit of a lower low. Even if it's another dollar, it'll go a little bit lower than today. So probably retest some and get one more spot pop down at some point. I think that makes a lot of sense. I do like the company longer term. I just want to pull back more. So if you're looking at shorting it, I mean, that's fine, but more or less for me, I'm watching to go bearish on some day trades and then looking to find a spot to go long on some swings. Disney, DIS, hanging out, doing its thing, and a lot of people are watching this candle, and I think it's adequate. Watch this candle pretty closely with Apple TV Plus coming out yesterday. Disney suffered a little bit, down 2%. High wave, super small, inside bullish day after arguably a perfect gap down on Disney. So if Disney breaks down, it could run bearish, actually. It really, really could. I hope it doesn't, because I have some long-term leaps on Disney, which I would still hold through, but I would protect and hedge with options, of course. However, if we start breaking down, I mean, it would be a little on the rough side. Speaking of breaking down, Square, ticker symbol SQ. A lot of real-life traders are getting into some puts today. And just as a protection, because we are, I mean, pennies away from some pretty strong support being closed below. Square did its absolute best to hold as long as it could. You had a high wave candle yesterday, which was also an inside day, and then today we've broken down and we're closing below the low of both of these candles. Square most likely is going to have a little bit of a bearish road ahead of it. I think 56.85 is almost a no-brainer, which is the double bottom of this pattern. And then from here, it's about to get a little bit worse. So there are a few real-life traders that are in something that rhymes with put options expiring in October. So we'll see what it does. I have no idea if it's going to drop or how much it's going to drop, but we are in some protection, and Square looking a little worse for wear right now. So keep that one on your radar. All right, folks, that about does it for me. Friday, I'll be back for a trade review where I will pick a trade setup that someone out there in the real-life trading community did, and I hope they just absolutely dominated it. I'll be back between now and then, maybe with some other updates, but ladies and gentlemen, bottom line, you guys rock. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And until next time, love life, trade it. Bye.